All right, folks, it is 11:10. So let's go ahead and get started. Ms. Oriani, it is your turn. So, you've got all your paperwork right there. Go ahead and just stay where you are. I'm not going to have you go to the podium because you're all nicely spread out. And you may begin. Like I said, if there's an objection to your form of the question, I will try to help reword your question to make it appropriate. But let's go ahead and just start off with you doing your own question.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walsh, what was the name of your channel before it was unmasked?
Objection, relevance.
How's that relevant?
Because at her being a public figure when she first started, she wasn't unmasked, she changed the name.
It's not relevant for the protection order. I'm going to sustain that objection.
Okay. Ms. Walsh, in your TPO paperwork, you mentioned that your daughter was scared to come to the door because you showed her a photograph of me. Is that correct?
Yes.
What photograph did you show her?
Objection, relevance.
I never sent her any photographs.
No, you need to just be quiet while I think about what that objection is. And I'm going to overrule that objection. I do think that it's relevant. It was one of the reasons that I considered in granting the temporary order of protection.
I showed her a picture of you from your channel.
Which picture?
One of your lives.
Ms. Walsh, did you find any police reports on Ms. Oriani prior to filing the TPO?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to allow the question. It's certainly not a requirement, but Ms. Oriani is entitled to explore the circumstances surrounding the TPO.
No, I did not.
Why not, Ms. Walsh?
Because I was hoping that I could get a temporary restraining order.
Did you include your minor daughter in your temporary restraining order?
No.
Why not, Ms. Walsh?
For her privacy and protection.
Who else do you live with, Ms. Walsh?
Objection, relevance.
What's the need?
I'll be open. I just want to add to my objection. My concern is that Ms. Oriani is inappropriately using this cross-examination to gather additional personal information about Ms. Walsh that really doesn't have to do.
Sure. Well, attorneys call those fishing expeditions, and they do them all the time. So, Ms. Oriani, what's the need?
I'm curious to know if she showed my picture to other members of her family. Why she showed my picture in the first place.
I don't think that's relevant.
Okay. Did you ever contact Ms. Oriani to tell her to leave you alone?
I blocked you.
When did you block me?
December 21st.
Is that an evidence?
I don't know.
Objection, Your Honor, I'm objecting to that.
Yeah, Ms. Oriani, the record stands.
And Your Honor, just a point of clarification. When Ms. Oriani says Ms. Oriani, I'm not sure if it's clear if she's referring to herself in the third person or if she's referring to a different person. I just want to make sure that the record is clear.
I only know of one Ms. Oriani that has been mentioned in this, so I'm certainly taking that as the defendant herself. And you know the difficulties when you're asking your own questions as a pro se party. How do you refer to yourself? Do you use the first person? Do you use the third person? I don't find that confusing. So Ms. Oriani, you may continue.
Ms. Walsh, you stated that in your TPO, that I do believe when she comes to Denver, she will come to my home. I've had to show my daughter a picture of her in case she comes here, which has caused her unnecessary stress. She's afraid to answer the door. Why would showing your daughter a picture of me cause her unnecessary stress?
Because of the nature of why I had to show her the picture.
So did you explain to your daughter why?
Yes.
And what did you explain to your daughter?
I explained as well as I could the situation, that she was not, if she saw you, she was not to open the door because there was something going on between me and you. I showed her your picture. I explained that you were making threatening comments about me online. I wanted her to understand that I was serious not to open the door if she saw you.
Ms. Walsh, do you remember on August 6th when you reached out to me and made contact with me, August 6, 2021?
Yes.
And you mentioned that another creator made a Facebook or YouTube live and had our names and pictures.
Yes.
Who was that?
U.S.C.
Do you know what her real name is?
Objection relevance.
Sustained.
Did Mandy C threaten your children and you?
Objection relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, why did you reach out to me on August 6th for help?
Because of the advertisement I saw for that video.
But why would you reach out to me for help?
Because both of us were on the advertisement, it's going to be doxxed.
But you can't stand me and wanted nothing to do with me in your testimony earlier.
I didn't want association with you as far as my brand, but that was a different type of situation.
Isn't it true that Mandy C is known as Ms. Bowden, has a criminal history in the federal correction system?
Objection relevance and lack of foundation and asking for hearsay.
Sustained for all those reasons.
Ms. Walsh, are you aware that your attorney filed an emergency quash order, a motion?
Objection relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, are you aware that your attorney said that your daughter had no inkling about this case?
Objection relevance.
Your Honor, she just stated that she told her daughter about this case.
You're asking her to comment on something that another party said. So you're going to need to lay more foundation and show why that would be relevant.
Ms. Walsh, how many people are employed at Unmasked?
Objection relevance.
I need to hear a little more about that, Ms. Oriani.
When we @ Unmasked, it's not just referring to...
I'm going to object to Ms. Oriani testifying in this context.
All right. Ms. Oriani, are you laying more of the foundation?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to explain that Unmasked is run not just by Ms. Walsh. And I have... No.
You need to do that through questioning. But if you're telling me that you are laying a further foundation for an explanation as to something that is relevant, for instance, something that you are seeing in her application, then I'm going to allow you to delve a little farther before I make a ruling on it, okay? So if you're telling me that's foundation, I'm going to allow it for that purpose and that purpose only. Go ahead.
So again, Ms. Walsh, how many people are employed with unmasked?
0.
Do you have any volunteers?
Yes.
How many?
In which capacity?
I'm objecting against relevance. There is no relevance to the current number of volunteers who work for Ms. Walsh or with Ms. Walsh.
Why would that be relevant, Ms. Oriani? How many volunteers? Volunteers come and go.
Because these volunteers were the ones that were instructed under Ms. Walsh to do things.
Well, then I think you can ask a question, such as, Ms. Walsh, was one of your volunteers instructed to do X, Y, and Z?
There you go, Ms. Walsh. Do you know Christine Marie?
Yes.
How do you know her?
She used to be my editor.
Your Honor, I'd like to submit into evidence documentation of screenshots between Christine Marie and her staff member.
All right, you're going to need to lay more foundation first, okay? You need to call the exhibit to the attention of the witness, have her authenticate it, and then establish why that would be relevant for today. All of that needs to be done before I consider it.
Okay. Well, I would like to approach to give the witness a copy of a screenshot between her and Christine Marie.
What's it marked?
Double D.
Okay, has that exhibit been given to the plaintiff before today?
Yes, it was in the Dropbox.
Which file is that in?
It's actually in the other one. It is. It is 842_3.
Which file is it in?
The order.
The file that says order exhibits?
Mm-hmm.
And you said 842_3?
Yes. Were you able to find it?
Got it.
Okay. May I approach the other
You
witness?
may, go ahead.
Ms. Walsh, is that you writing Christine Marie, my first, last name, where I live, and my age?
Yes, it is.
What's the date on there?
February 15th, 2021.
Why would you give Christine Marie my name and where I lived and my age?
Well, first of all, your last name is spelled incorrectly, and it's not where you live, it's just the city in Ohio. But the reason I gave it to her was that this is out of context. 2 days prior to this, she asked me who you were. She's also, at the time, was under an NDA, so she'd be unable to share that information.
Ms. Walsh, so why did you give her my information?
Because 2 days prior, she asked who you were.
So randomly out of the blue, Christine Marie asked you who I was.
I understand the court's trying to give leeway to a pro se litigant, and that's appropriate. I am objecting to the relevance of this line of questioning.
Ms. Oriani, I don't see any relevance that has been linked. So I'm going to give you one more question to establish how this is relevant to today's proceedings. And again, I listed the burden of proof on the plaintiff before we get started, and I'm really sticking to those elements that need to be shown or disproven if you wish to chip away at something that was presented earlier. You don't have the burden here. It's the plaintiff that does.
Correct. Your Honor, it's to show the foundation that it was actually Ms. Walsh who was seeking out me. I do not have a YouTube channel, February 15th, 2021.
And I object to Ms. Oriani testifying at this time.
All right. I'm going to, at this time, prevent any further inquiry regarding that issue.
Ms. Walsh, do you know a James Angelo?
Objection, relevance.
They submitted in evidence that said James Angelo's name when I tagged unmasked in one of their exhibits.
You're going to need a little more than that to be relevant.
Is James Angelo your business manager?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to allow that question if it's foundational.
No.
Your Honor, okay.
Was he ever your business manager?
No.
I would like to submit into evidence Ms. Walsh's public documents obtaining a corporation license in the state of Colorado with Mr. James Angelo as the filing party.
Your Honor, I object as to relevance. My concern here, again, is that Ms. Oriani is using this not as a fishing expedition to get relevant factual investigation, but as a fishing expedition to get personal information about Ms. Walsh's personal and professional lives that aren't any of her business and that she can't get otherwise.
Well, I'm going to, first of all, again, Ms. Oriani, you need to show the exhibit first. You need to establish that this witness would be the correct person to talk about the exhibit, that they recognize the exhibit, that they can, what we call, authenticate it. Mm-hmm. Then you need to establish how that would be relevant before the court will consider it, okay?
I guess, Your Honor, I guess I would maybe see if the court is open to asking for an offer of proof about how this whole James Angelo line of questioning has an impact on this hearing.
I think that's a good idea, counsel. Ms. Oriani, what's the purpose for James Angelo?
He's the one that reached out to me and labeled himself as the unmasked business manager and wanted to get into an NDA and I can give the messages that he sent me.
Okay,
And then-
well, that's not really cross-examination. Instead, that's your testimony. So you can talk about that as part of your testimony, and that's where it would be relevant.
Okay.
The mistake many attorneys make is trying to take an adverse witness. I'm not going to say hostile because she certainly answered all the questions here, but to take an adverse witness and to try to make that your case in chief. You have an opportunity to testify unfettered if you would like to. But at this time, I don't even find that relevant. What a person that I'm just hearing about right now may or may not have said to you. That's going to be all hearsay.
Okay. Ms. Walsh, you referred to in your testimony, you said we when referring to unmask. Who is we?
Objection, relevance.
I think that's a fair question. Go ahead and answer it, ma'am.
Which part of the testimony?
You were saying how we weren't able to work on videos.
I thought I said I.
Well, wouldn't you have help from others in doing a video? Okay. So, ask another question, Ms. Oriana.
So who are the we?
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's
so
not
you
relevant.
have help with you have help with videos. You have help running your channel.
Yes, correct.
So when you say that your channel is being tagged, that would be referring to anybody that was helping with the video.
No, because they don't have access to my YouTube channel, only I do. So I'm the only one getting the feed.
You said that you were given a trailer on January 15th of 2021 in your testimony, and then you said that you hadn't known of Ms. Oriani at all.
Well, you need to ask one idea per question.
How were you given the trailer of Shazam? She testified to.
It was given to me by Andrea Powers.
Who's Andrea Powers?
Objection, relevance.
I think it is relevant, more for the court to understand this whole scenario. Just in general, who is this Andrea Powers person?
Just somebody that has another channel on YouTube. She's like another creator, and someone who follows the cases.
Okay.
And when did she give you that video?
You've already asked that question and given the answer, so let's move on.
Okay. I want to submit into evidence and show for authentication my conversations with Vanessa Walsh and direct messenger. The only place that we communicated.
Okay, well, the first thing you need to do is to show those to your witness.
Yep. So should she just use my phone to go through it so she could see them?
If you use your phone to go through it, I'm going to seize your phone as evidence. You have
Okay.
hard copies?
Yes, I do have hard copies.
There we go.
Can you tell me what those are marked or show me there? don't know what Ms. Oriani is approaching Ms. Walsh with. I'm wondering if she can direct me to what they're marked or show me the hard copies.
Yeah, can you go ahead and show those to opposing counsel first? All right, Ms. Oriani, what did you just hand to your witness?
It'll be labeled as HH.
All of that is one exhibit?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's the initial contact made by Ms. Walsh to Ms. Oriani myself.
Once again, I am going to object to Ms. Oriani testifying.
Yeah. Ms. Oriani, your next question is going to be, do you recognize?
Yeah, do you recognize these exchanges?
Yes.
Can you turn to, actually, can you read out loud your conversation at your side?
That's you. So she says, you said, do you recognize it? And the next question is going to be, what is it?
What is it?
A conversation between you and I via Facebook.
And when was it made? All of those questions that,
What's the date on it?
First message is August 6th, 2021.
And what does it say? Why did you reach out? What's the first caption there?
Your Honor, this has been, I am objecting because this has been asked and answered multiple times.
I don't know yet what's on the floor here. So I'll put a pin in your objection and wait to see what this content is. Cross-examination, it's okay to ask a question several times just to fully flesh it out, but Ms. Oriani, you are using a lot of valuable time.
Ms. Walsh, isn't it a fact that you would have never reached out to the Lana Oriani in February of 2021 if she was not involved with the Christopher LaLa's case and had a relationship with Christopher and his family?
Objection compound.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was even going. Let's just do one thought per question, Ms. Oriani. You confused me. That was too long. If you can break that down for me. I need to be able to understand where you're going, and I don't.
Can you read for the courts what you said on that date?
What date is that?
August 6, 2021.
Okay.
The first line,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's Vanessa from Unmasked.
Okay, can you continue?
With my side of our context.
Yep.
You see it?
And then is there something sent to me on the next page? There's like 16, I think, pages that go with that exhibit.
Yes.
How many exhibits did you send then to me, clips? Was it 4 of them?
Change the question.
How many clips did you send me? Was it from a drama channel?
I'm I'm looking at the page you're referring to, I don't see clips, I see a link.
And then the next page, there's not 4 clips there.
No, there's not.
Like pictures. Can you read then what's said on that page as to why you're reaching out?
The first page?
You just read the first page, so the second page there.
I said, you see it, and I sent you the link of the advertisement that I referred to.
Okay, why did you send that to me?
Because we were both going to be the subject of this live.
Okay, can you continue on with the... I can show you the page number. May I approach the witness?
You may.
Right here. Yeah, phone numbers and all that other shit.
Ms. Oriani, I gotta tell you, you're really losing me though. Why is any of this relevant? Ms. Walsh has testified that she did contact you regarding her concerns. Isn't this just bolstering what she has already testified to?
She testified as to her version of events, and these documentations counter or
Okay, well, why wouldn't you then ask her some leading questions that would point exactly to where you believe the conflict lies and impeach her with those? Because as the finder of fact here, I'm lost.
Okay, sure. Isn't it true that you told me that you were going to give a C and D to Andrea Powers for her shit that she did to your husband?
Objection, relevance.
The relevance is that she's saying that she got something from Andrea Powers, who she kicked out of her Patreon.
Yeah, that's another.
Okay.
That's a 404B kind of situation here. I don't find that proper. So let's go ahead and move on, Ms. Oriani.
Okay, Ms. Walsh, have you been watching my channel, Truth and Transparency?
What time frame?
When did you begin watching my channel, Truth and Transparency?
I've never watched it regularly until recently when it pops up on my feed. I'm not subscribed to it.
All right, Ms. Walsh, you stated here in your TPO that LAWna went on live broadcast after Truth and Transparency has spoke about me for 5 hours. She gave out my full legal name multiple times to thousands of people. She admitted that she has been stalking me for a year. She admitted getting intel on my family and putting a picture of my husband in a trailer. 4 videos to get my attention. She also blackmailed me during this live and threatened to release medical information about me. Is that what you wrote in your TPO?
Yes.
Did you show any testimony here or any evidence of the 5-hour live on 12/29/2021?
I object. Ms. Oriani is asking Ms. Walsh to comment on what's in evidence, which I think is much more a matter for the court to.
It is.
Okay.
So that objection is sustained.
When you wrote me and said that Mandy put your full legal name on a video and on a screenshot and you had to contact YouTube Legal and you asked for me to help, did you then go and obtain a TPO out on Mandy C?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, you listed here that LAWna has contacted my ex-employees, customers, and former friends. Your testimony here today says that you do not have any employees.
We're speaking about one particular person.
No, I was asked, do you have any employees? And I'm asked.
I no longer do. At the time, you contacted my ex-employee,
Who was that?
Teresa Steffens.
I contacted Teresa Steffens. When?
Objection. Essentially, Ms. Oriani is attempting to elicit hearsay in the sense that she's asking Ms. Walsh about something that she hasn't established that Ms. Walsh has personal knowledge of, except, I guess, through somebody else telling her about.
All right, well, I don't think that she's stepped over that hearsay line yet. I think it's fair that she talk about a statement in her application. So if the question is asking her when she contacted Ms. Steffens, how she contacted, then all of that is okay. So I'm going to allow it. Continue, Ms. Oriani. Please restate your question. Repeat it just because I can't remember.
You said that LAWna has contacted my ex-employees, customers, and former friends and asked for personal information regarding my personal life, family members, and even what prescriptions I take. So the question is what employees, ex-employees, customers, and former friends?
Teresa Steffens is the ex-employee.
And when did I contact Teresa Steffens?
During your live broadcast, when you were intimidating, harassing, threatening me for all of those days, you showed your messenger box, and we all saw it where Teresa in your inbox laughing while you were doing it and sending you information saying incoming voicemail, incoming stuff. You broadcasted your own personal messages on your live.
Where was this?
On your lives in December.
Ms. Walsh, you knew that me and Teresa Steffens had been talking since April 5th, did you not? Under testimony, you said that...
Hold on, that's the question. Let her answer.
Yes.
So could that have been a message from April 5th, April 30th, June 10th?
No, it literally came in while you were doing the live about me. You saw it, you showed your inbox, and it came in live, on your live. And she was also in comments laughing while you were doing it. And you've also said yourself on your lives that you've been talking to her about this.
No, that's not what I said.
No, you don't get a comment like that.
You're right. Can you strike that from the record, please?
Oh, I'm just not going to consider it.
Okay. LAWna has contacted my ex-employees, customers, and former friends and asked for personal information regarding my personal life, family members, and even what prescriptions I take. Where was that all?
You've admitted most of it yourself on the live broadcast, and
Is that in evidence?
it's
Objection to that question.
Yeah, that's for the court.
Okay. This,
For the court to either get or not get, depending on what my notes and review of the exhibits tell me.
okay, Ms. Walsh, you also state she impersonated my close friend's wife, drove to a tire store to get a receipt in order to obtain their personal information, including their name, email address, and home address. She is using this information to intimidate and harass me. She is completely obsessed with me. Do you recall that statement?
yes.
Who is the close friend?
James Angelo,
Who is James Angelo?
the close friend I referred to.
And how would this have anything to do with your TPO? Does he live with you?
No, you're
Okay.
stuck with that answer.
Yeah.
She identified who that person is. Go ahead and move on. I'm not going to allow a fishing expedition regarding who Mr. Angelo is. She's identified the person that she was talking about.
Ms. Walsh, how does myself driving to a tire store to get a receipt have anything to do with, in Ohio, at a tire store, have anything to do with you?
I'm objecting to lack of foundation.
I'm going to allow you to explore this, Ms. Oriani, but you need to be aware, once you start to open the door, that's what that's called, you invite in testimony that wouldn't otherwise be allowed. So please be, I don't know if this is going to do that, but you need to be aware that when you do ask questions, then they get to come back on rebuttal and present more information to rebut what you just said. So with that cautionary tale, you may continue. Good. The question was, how does the receipt from the tire store play into this?
When you were on your live broadcast for the tire store, you were going to the receipts, and you had my ex-volunteer on your panel saying what you were going to do and why.
What was this ex-volunteer on my panel for?
What was she on your panel for?
Yeah, you reported this live in your TPO, so do you recall what she was talking about?
You're asking my opinion because you invited her on your panel. You would have to answer that question.
What was she saying on this live?
Objection.
It is hearsay. That objection is going to be sustained.
You testified that there was a clip from Natasha Cooper in your direct examination, and
Messages.
you stated that I was in chat while she was live. When you're in chat, can you talk with the other people that are in chat, the other subscribers?
Yes.
So is it possible that Ms. Oriani and myself was talking to the 900 people that were in chat?
Objection. She's asking for speculation.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, how many live broadcasts have you done about LAWna Oriani?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, you stated in your testimony that I do mock trials. Is that correct?
I stated that you did one about this hearing.
Do you know how many videos Ms. Oriani myself has put up on YouTube that pertain to other mock trials?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
Ms. Walsh, have I ever commented on your page?
On the videos?
Have I ever commented on your videos page?
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
When?
I don't remember the date. I know which video it was.
Ms. Walsh, do you remember reaching out to me when you asked me on December 3rd why your face was a money shot on a live broadcast? It's not in those.
Objection. It's relevance.
I'm not sure how this might be relevant, so I'm going to allow a follow-up question.
Ms. Walsh, did I show you a document screenshot of you and Luda Vicoviani saying my name, LAWna, 482 times between the two parties?
Objection. Relevance.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Ms. Oriani, you've lost me again. I don't know what that is referring to. You're going to have to really provide some foundational questions to build up to that, where you can testify to that yourself. But that question is asked rather in a vacuum, and I'm not sure what to do with it by itself. That's a long explanation to say that objection is going to be sustained at this point.
Ms. Walsh, who gave you, you say that you became aware of Ms. Oriani by making a post on December 30th or 31st, 2020.
Correct.
Where was that post made?
A Facebook group called The Accused.
Is it here?
I can't remember if I submitted it or not.
Your Honor, again, Ms. Oriani is asking about what, I think is trying to ask about what has been admitted into evidence. I didn't truthfully understand that question, but I do object.
Ms. Oriani, that objection is going to be sustained.
Ms. Walsh, have I ever said that I was coming to your home to you?
No.
Ms. Walsh, did I ever say that I was going to cause you or your family bodily harm?
Did you ever say it to me? You've said it to others.
Have I ever said it to you, Ms. Walsh?
No.
Ms. Walsh, isn't it true that you just want me not to talk about you?
Objection.
I think it's a fair question.
I guess, here, let me tell you why I object, just for the record. I think that what Ms. Oriani is trying to do is imply that Ms. Walsh is trying to use this proceeding for some purpose other than getting a permanent protection order to protect her.
That's your theory of the case.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Ms. Oriani, go ahead.
Yes.
Can you repeat your question?
Did I ever threaten bodily harm?
I don't think that was the question you just asked. But I did answer, but once again, not directly to me, to others.
Ms. Walsh, isn't it true that you are doing this so that I will stop talking about you?
Absolutely not.
Then why are you doing it?
Can I answer that truthfully with my opinion? I mean,
The door's been opened. You are to answer all questions honestly and openly. Yeah.
because I think that you are obsessed with me. I think you're mentally unstable and you scare me.